true beauty comes from within. That is so true. I love this saying. I think it's great, especially to put on a front of our patchwork meditative junk journal that we're working on here. And this is so much fun. I'm making this a playlist, so I'll put on the end screen so you guys can get caught up to us this far. And I think this is a great quote to put on the front of it because it is perfect for yourself, because it's true, and the inside of the journal, because beauty comes from within, so it's kind of a play on words. So the inside of the journal has a bunch of, like, don't judge a book by its cover kind of deal. It's kind of what I got out of it. So, hi everyone, I am Tammy, and welcome to Snowstorm Crafts. So today I want to add my little Cricut cutout. This is just a vinyl cutout, and I'm going to iron this onto the front here. And I want to incorporate some fun feathers that I'm just sticking inside of a bead, and I want to show you guys how to do a couching stitch. Okay, and I also have some really cool feather stencils here. So I got a set of 6 of them. Yes, a set of 6 right here. So they're just a bunch of cool feathers, different styles. Really neat. I love, love, love the mandala looking feathers. And I want to use this one today on the cover. And I want to show you guys how I add this to how I stencil it onto the cover using black soot, just distressed oxide, and a dauber. And probably a spray bottle. A little bit of water spritzed on it helps too. Okay, so what I have today is, like I said, I have one of my big, they're imitation wood. They're just plastic beads, but they look wood. I got one of those. I got some feathers. I got my needle. It is just a regular needle. Not sure what size or anything. I've had them just forever. So I just have a needle with some just cheap thread. Just whatever thread you can find. As long, if you take it and go like this and pull on it and make sure it doesn't break, then it's not old, and it works great. I got a little bit of just scissors just to do some snipping, and I want to try to incorporate my waxed poly thread here. I love using this for bookbinding and stuff like that, but I also want to incorporate it to maybe wrap around just for some interest and have some of it dangle down and just have some fun interest on our little feather cluster here. Okay, so let's get started. Let's move some of the stuff out of the way, and I want to start with stenciling. Okay, so I'll put all this to the side, and I want to open up our little journal cover here, just like that. Okay, and you can see that it's not perfectly even. I'm not about perfection or anything like that. I'm all about, what you feel and what works for you, and just more organic, kind of like the stitches and stuff on here are meant to be meditative and just meaning, relaxing, and just kind of get out of your head for a little bit. And it's just to relax, really, So that's why I do what I do, And this is coffee and tea dyed fabrics that I put together. Different kinds. I got some linen. I got some cotton. I got some woven cotton. And that's basically what I have on here, I think. Oh, and then this is burlap. This is like canvas is what it is. It's like a canvas, not a burlap. Kind of what you can get. It is actually what you can get from the hardware store, like a painter's drop cloth. Like when you're painting your house and stuff, that's what that is. And I just dyed it with coffee dye, and so I have just different fabrics in here that I love the colors together. And then did some running stitches across it with some embroidery thread. So what I want to do now is I'm going to line this up. Okay. I want this like that. the feather's gonna go across the whole journal, like when it's opened up, you know. I think I'm liking that. Maybe like this. I wanna make sure all of it's on here. Make sure you guys can see. Sorry about the glare. I know there's not much I could do about I got my circle lamp right here that's kind of taking up some spot right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay it, get up my black soot, and I added some black ink to it because I don't want this to be dry, but it's just some black soot. I did it a couple days ago, but you know what? It wouldn't hurt just to add a little bit more because I want to make sure that this isn't going to be dry when I'm working with it. Okay, and then if you do have a dry pad, you can always take your water, just a spritz of water, and just spritz it on there, and that brings it back to life too. Okay, so I'm just going to use black on this. So you just want to make sure you have it where you want it, hold it in place, and then just go in circles like that. And you're just getting it on there. So I want to make sure not to let this move. And I'm trying not to go on the outside of the stencil, but I do that sometimes. So you just kind of work around it. We're just getting the silhouette on there. Okay, so I started off doing the circle motion when I was stenciling it, and then I decided to go ahead and go with the flow of it all, because you kind of got to hold it down like this as a flimsy part. So you got to kind of just hold it and go with it and just do straight strokes like that. So on stencils that have like maybe smaller little holes in it and stuff, it would be easier just to circle it and do that with it. But this situation, it was easier kind of just to pull and push with it, you know, and just see, because you don't want to bend anything back and have it bend back on you. So just see where it's at and just kind of go like that with it. Just line it up. Okay, so let's look at it. Ooh, now that turned out really cool. So you could see that. So there we go. So that's what I wanted to do, is just stencil on that. And then you can turn it like that. And then we're going to add our fun stuff to the front here. This will be the front cover. And then you have some fun things on the back here, the rest of the feather. So, yeah. So if you guys are enjoying this video, please hit the like button down below. That helps me out so, so much. And it'll get my video out there for everybody else to see how to do this. And I really appreciate it. Okay, so now I want to fold this in half. I'm going to add my fun words on top. And I'm wanting to go down like this towards the bottom with it. And I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this on, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got that done. As you can see here, I brought you guys down a little bit closer so you can see. But it just says, true beauty comes from within. I mean, how cool is that? Okay. And what I did is I used, this was on top. It's just a piece of plastic that's on top of it. And I take my Cricut, it's my little Cricut iron, and it's just a little mini one. And it gets hot. It gets like up to 400 degrees. So I just take that and while that's on it and just iron it. And then you have to slowly peel it up and make sure nothing's coming up. And I take my little tool here, and I have to just kind of push it down and make sure it stays. And then, so yeah, it took a second, but it turned out really cool. I mean, isn't that fun, you guys? I really love it. All right, so that's the cover so far. Now I brought you guys down closer because I want to show you guys how to do the couching stitch, which a couching stitch is when you sew over something and not through. Okay, so you're just like attaching it on, and I'm attaching this on by sewing over, because I'm going to sew over like that and attach it down. I'm not going to sew through it. Okay, so let's see, I wanted to add some of this, and you know me, I love my threads. If you guys don't know that, I keep all my threads, pieces of fabric that comes apart, you know, like little pieces like this. I keep all of them. And also this is some cheesecloth that I dyed, so that's just kind of mixed in there. So I have just a little rat's nest here that I play with. And let's see, I'll get my fabric scissors. And I'm just gonna cut some pieces off. Play around with it here. I want to kind of take this out. So all I did was just stuck it in the hole, right? But I want to take some stuff out, put some things around it, add a little more interest, you know. Just playing around. I'm just playing around. I mean, you don't have to be serious about it. You could just see what you got. I mean, if you don't like it, you could just not do it. So, I mean, I just love just kind of just seeing what I can do here. Okay. And I know I want to incorporate this somehow in here. And what I'm thinking, I might stick it through and add some beads on it. Would be fun, wouldn't it? That would be cool. I wonder if I need to go longer. Let's go a little bit. I'd rather have it too long than not long enough, you know? You know how that goes. Okay, because I'm going to go like this. And probably tie a knot in it at the top. So I'm just taking it and just tying a knot. Like that. Just a loose knot. Because I don't want it to come through the top. I want this to go through like this. You can even do a double knot like that. And we can also glue this in there, but I just want to see if this works first. Because I'm kind of just seeing what I want to do. So I just popped it through like that. And then you got all your fun little wispiness here. Like this can even go behind it. You know, it could be like part of the background. And we can just couch this on there too, do a couching stitch. So like that. That can go here. These can pop inside of it. So it just kind of gives it just a little nest behind it. I want to throw a little bit more black in there. Sometimes I go overboard with my little threads, but it is so much fun. So I want to make sure that it's over enough because eventually I want to show you guys how the next video will probably be and I'm not sure yet, but I want to add another inside cover here, something fun, and show you guys how to do a blanket stitch all the way around. So I want to make sure I can be able to stitch, you know, and not have everything in the way. But I also want to get this sewn on here so we can have the stitches on the inside, you know. Okay. So we got that. This. That could be the back of it. That. And then I'm just going to stick all the feathers in here. That's what I was wondering, if I could stick the feathers in. So I had to pull that up a little bit, pop the feathers through. I just want to see if all this works out. So I got a longer one, and then I just kind of went a little bit smaller. And then a little bit smaller. So let's see what we can fit in here. And then the little tiny guy here. There we go. So I'm just kind of building it up. Like that. And then I want to make sure it goes where I want it to. I don't like feathers sticking out the top or out the side too much, because then they get bent. So I try to keep them fairly inside. So I'm just fiddling around, getting it where I want it, and then you could pull this down a little bit, the little knot. And those really aren't going anywhere. And then anything coming out the bottom, just make sure don't cut your little wax thread, but we could just pop that off of there. Okay. So is that cool or what? Spreading that so you can see it. So there's just some things to think about. Like, don't hide the words. See if you can see your little threads, and make sure you're not too close to the edge here, especially if you're going to do some stitching. So, and I don't want the feathers poking out, but you could see that that's a Y. So this is kind of just the fiddly part to see how I want to do it. Okay. Maybe down a little bit. Okay, now we can just take our thread. I got a knot in the back of it. And I'm going to, we can add the beads in a minute. But I'm just going to hold it where I want it. So make sure you line your bead up how you want it. And then I'm just grabbing it, and you can see that's the inside of the journal, so I'm just going like this. And I'm going up right beside where I want to go. Okay, and I'm going to go right beside it like this, and then pop up. So just like a little running stitch on the side there. And then you just swing it over. And just go over anything you're working with. So I'm just going to go on the other side over here. And it just pretty much just tacks it on top. So like that. You know, after we tack this down, I wonder if it'd be really cool to use this thread on top of it, because you can split this thread. So let's just get this tacked down real quick. So you could just keep going in the same spot here. So you can go pop it back up. And then go right over to the other side of it. So we're pretty much just getting that on there. And we're going over it. So we're not like going through, you know, the feather or anything like that. We're just pinning it down, like going over it. Okay. So let's just do it one more time. So just going on one side of it. And then over to the other side of it. that. Okay. And then we just close it off. All kinds of scissors here. Use my cute little bird. Alright, so now I think that would, you could leave it like that, or just for decorative. So you could take this and split it, which is really cool. And just use like a little strand of it. So this is definitely some fun stuff to play with. Okay. And we can always add a dab of glue too, so this bead doesn't fall off. But I just got my Fabrifix glue that I use, is what it is. It's just Fabrifix glue. So I'm just gonna go like that, put my finger down, pop it over onto the other side, like that, and pull that through. And then just go over the back like that, and you'll catch, you don't have to knot it. So I'm just going back and forth on each side here. Just like we did with the thread. So just pinning it down. Okay. Now what I want to do with this is just kind of do a little more. So that just gives it a cool look. And then you can go pull it through a couple times to knot it and have this hang out the front. Okay. You can make sure I don't sew my journal together. So don't do that. Pop that back through just a little bit. So then it's doubled up like that. And then I'm just gonna go like that. And then you got two little threads hanging down like that. Is that super fun? And if you're worried about something coming undone back here, you can always take your just art glitter glue or any kind of PVA glue or whatever you got, and you can just pop that on there. And that'll hold it in its place. Like that. So it's a little tip and trick. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to come through. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that. And let's go ahead and add some beads. I'm just going to do a little dab of glue. Cut the feathers a little bit more. We could do a little bit of glue in there. There we go. Now we know it's not going anywhere. Now, you can put whatever you want on the end here, but I just have some little wood beads. I think that would look really cute. I'll just put one here. And I don't know if these will go through. I kind of like these. Sometimes you have to re-poke the holes in these because this is just a skewer. I always use this when I'm working with bead work. So I kind of like those better. And you could stagger them like that. And you could go through again, or you could tie a knot. It might be easier to tie a knot because the hole's not that big. So you can just tie a knot in the bottom. Make sure you guys can see me here. So just do a little knot, and then you can do just squirt a little dab of glue, and then it's I just push the knot up in there a little bit, and then there we go. Just wipe off whatever. So once that dries, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, and then let's stagger this one. We'll have it go down a little further. And then I think this will be good. Let's do that. Put a dab of glue. And pop that in there just a little bit, and then just let it sit. So there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informational. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys will see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting.